They've only ever chosen players eager to win their applause. But the moment you refuse to dance on their strings, you shift from puppet to phantom, an uncatchable force slipping through their expectations. You stop molding your voice to soothe their egos and instead speak with an undercurrent of steel. You abandon every contortion meant to earn approval, trading flamboyant displays for quiet confidence. Now you arrive like dawn breaking in unexpected places, altering the landscape without explanation. They no longer anticipate your next move, and that unpredictability becomes your instrument. In the theater of social influence, they applaud those who nod in unison, who smile before they feel, who echo every sentiment without question, because obedience masquerading as wisdom is their favorite trick. But you've learned that true maturity lies not in submission, but in sovereignty. You welcome frowns and misunderstandings as badges of autonomy, stepping through corridors of their disappointment, unflinching. When they push with guilt or threats, you remain still, because your worth no longer trembles at the sound of their displeasure. That stillness is an invisible armor. Every glance they shoot ricochets off your calm. They crave a companion who bends, because in bending lies control. But you refuse to be bent. You cultivate a silent gravity, an internal compass that means your orbit never depends on anyone else's. Their attempts to bait you, to coax you with flattery, or isolate you with cold shoulders fall short. Your emotional thermostat is set from within, so you command the atmosphere of every room you enter. They circle those who circle no one. Your indifference becomes a magnet for respect. They lean in, not out of courtesy, but out of fascination. You didn't discover rebellion. You discovered detachment, saying no without justification, walking away without regret, doing what matters even when it shakes the foundations of popularity. These are your quiet revolutions. In relinquishing the leash of smiles and apologies, you stride forward untamed. Labels like cold or selfish become mere echoes of their inability to handle someone beyond their grasp. You aren't cruel, you are clear. You don't attack, you withdraw. Your weapon is absence, and its weight unsettles them more than any storm of words. Machiavelli knew well that power springs from perception, and perception bows to silence. When you stop explaining, they fill the void with projections, fear, reverence, obsession. You didn't alter your essence. You shifted their perspective by refusing the part they'd cast you in. The hunger for your approval dies, and in its place blossoms a craving for your attention. Rare as an eclipse, each time you spare a word, it resonates. Each moment you vanish, they scramble to decipher your motives. They study your calm, haunted by the question of what you'll do next, because in uncertainty lives true influence. Once enslaved by their judgments, you now harvest the freedom of your own design. Their raised brows no longer crack your armor. Every once potent trick they learned to manipulate you slithers off like rain on stone. You've woven emotional boundaries so precise that warmth flows only to those who honor it. Compassion dispensed, not as a currency, but as a strategic choice. This is not bitterness. It is a measured generosity that underscores how precious your goodwill truly is. They'll test your resolve, whispering that you've changed, wielding guilt like a blade, luring you back into the comfortable cage of pleasing. You draw no lines but your own. Their confusion swells while you remain motionless, unwavering. Their discomfort belongs to them, not to you. And as they scramble to win back a version of you that no longer exists, their departure only illuminates your clarity. You trimmed away what distracted you, and with nothing left to appease, your existence becomes an invitation they must earn.